Ebonadi FM, who will, as the happenings around us get as complicated as they can be.
Our government, whatever.
Street report of it all. Street report is causing social change across your streets. In your community. Street report is here with hardcore journalism to get to the roots of our problem. Why don't you join me, Martin Ifanyu, as our number the force every Friday, 4:30 p.m. on Ebonadi 103.5 FM as Street Reports unfolds in your face. On Emas and Ebonadi corner 24/7, 24/7. My name is Chief Dr. Sir Bob Manuel Udoku, designer of Leading report with Martin on Ebonadi 103.5 FM.
Yes, telling the difference, from governance and politics is exactly what we have come to do. This our populace need to, separate politics from governance in some kind of issue sometimes. So that's exactly what we are about right now this evening. Yes, good evening and welcome to another wonderful spirit and knowledge-filled edition of Street Report on Ebonadi 103.5 FM. I am Martin Ifanyu Ikizie. As our number the first, the one that I call Metal. Oh, more kind of metal. Yes, in the building, and here we play the role of ombudsmanship, and then we cause social change in those places where nobody thinks that we can, we cause that social change right here. So on this edition of Street Report on Ebonadi 103.5 FM, we are going to separate governance from politics of Professor Charles Chukwuma Soludo, the governor of Anambra State. And that's exactly what we are going to do on this particular edition of Street Report. There's a need for that. Yes, last week, Professor Charles Soludo, marked 1 year in office. And in this ceremony, that marked that, like the ceremony that celebrated that particular event or that feat in particular, is hosted Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, the former president of Nigeria. And then his remarks, got a lot of people talking, and we begin to pay closer attention to the person, that is the governor of Anambra State. First, he commended him, on the job he's doing so far. Soludo served as CBN governor under the presidency or during the presidency of the former president of Nigeria, Olusegun Obasanjo. And Professor Soludo performed very well, in his own remarks. That's what he said. He said that Professor Soludo performed very well, in that area in CBN. And that's like the part where he began to educate us on the fact that CBN is not a commercial bank, that it is a development bank. So that understanding. Now, before we begin to get into the reason why former presidents, said these things about Professor Charles Soludo, let's look at some of the expectations and brilliance has or had for Soludo's administration. Some of the promises he made, to Anambra people. I am talking about the promise to change Obuku community. And if you remember, that was the first place he visited, the first place he visited officially as the governor of Anambra State. And a lot of people can attest to the work that he is doing over there right now. He promised to uphold the youth, to develop the youth. So a lot of people can now attest to the issue of one youth, two skills. That project, he's doing it already. So in order to mark this scorecard of 1 year in office, I won't do it alone. You have to do it together with me, I am a street report on Ketata so that I'm going to get the administration of Professor Charles Chukuma Soludo, how far, so far, so good. I and Gapali guys were bad from day one. Let us not forget the issue of insecurity and how it has been like a great challenge to his administration. I will still get to the issue of Aburu, but let's go calm down a little, remind ourselves of 1802 with this sound, Remember that this is Street Report on Ebona, the 103.5 FM. I am Martin Ifan Shukwe Kezia's number was the one that I call Metal. Stick around with this song. I'll be right back.
Anywhere in the world, I am able to conquer. Lauds, working at Wazika Thunder, working with done, working for a hustler, working you full time. I can't get you the money. Working now to have your money, but they the free container still clear on the daily. Praise him and I'm working with load. The same the business, I trouble gaba, I check up while they're busy. When you want a logic with a londo, as on the salon, what I check up while I'm like your cultural roots. Hey, Miss Yago and Timberland boots. Now I'm so hero with the swag of a boss. The guy even do okay, even Ricky Ross. I'm one for global, I need your local, I need your red cap chips with the title. The boss and see for the culture, Maya Bunkai,
my pride, you see the man is Soludo. Oh man, I never know my pride, my pride, you put the sense in the middle. Oh man, I never know my pride. Oh man, I never know my pride. Oh man, I never know my pride. Yes, chef now. Yes, chef now. Every single video. Oh man, I get the hero behind the guy. I want to go see a deal. You have to go. I don't know. My pride, my pride, you would never see me do. A man, I need to my pride, my pride, you would never see me do. A man, I need to my pride. 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 Hey, Chefuna. Hey, Chefuna, every city video. Hey, Chefuna. Hey, Chefuna, every city video. Hey, Chefuna. Oh, man, I need. Hey, Chefuna, every city video. Hey, Chefuna. Oh, man, I need. Hey, Chefuna. Obolo ne mala bi si abia ke ki gesi maza bi na eja. E ga mana bi si abia ki we mala bi na eja. Yes, in as much as the governor of Anambra State scored high in security, but he still looks at the kinetic and non-kinetic approach to the issue of security in the Southeast. You're welcome back to Street Report on Ebon at the 103.5 FM. I am Martin Ifeanyi Chukwu Ekezie. As I number the first, the one that I call Metal. So on this edition, we are looking at the scorecard of Governor of Anambra State, Professor Chukwuma Soludo, on the wake of his 1 year in office. You know, that's why we are doing this. And we are doing it because na yeche fu be is we bido yotago, okay, we look at is bido. And because of that, then we're going to report to get remind of is we bidija. And Professor Charles Soludo we bido DCJ. So very soon, we'll get the report. Yotago ki we look at we bido this, you know, this journey. I will because there eba no kita. Yes, personally, I might not agree with him in everything, you know, but I'm talking about Professor Charles Soludo on everything, but his call, you know, towards the federal government or for the federal government to release Mazen Nande Kano, you know, that can only be done by somebody who understands, you know, that there is a void to fill in Igbo land. That's kind of move. Even if you say it is political, you know, but for me, that kind of move shows that somebody understands that Chukwu Emeka Odumegwu Chukwu left a void, you know, and at the same time, let Mbazurike Amechi, the boy is good, also left a void. And for him to understand that he needs to make that call. I'm not trying to make it like come into it with sentiment now, but the fact that he made that move shows that somebody understands where the leadership of the Igbo people should go to right now. Yes, it is just 1 year, you know, but a lot of achievements have been recorded. But a lot of people still score him low when it comes to, I'm not saying some people still score him low, but, you know, a lot of achievements have been recorded. It's just maybe even if a lot are still scored, I think maybe most of those people don't know about, you know, the achievements so far. And I will get to list them on this platform, on this edition of Street Report on Ebon at 103.5 FM. So that you and I will how far I will right now. And those people who will score low on a very good day will be doing that based on the activities of Aburu in Anambra Road taxation. And the governor also is not happy about that either. And you can also see that in the fact that he's not happy about the internally generated revenue. And he wish, you know, to improve it. Anyway, take a listen to this report that will remind you, you know, of the expectations in the Anambra, you know, have towards the administration of Professor Chukwuma Soludo. So take a listen and I'll be back.
If you are in Anambra State and have been observant, you will observe that the personnel used in road taxation in the past in Anambra State are off the street. But residents of Anambra State have suggestion on what the new governor, Professor Charles Soludo, must do to make road taxation better in Anambra State. Mr. Ikenna Okoye, a welder residing in Anambra State, has this to say.
I believe there were federal government, there were state government is there without it. Okay. Actually, more when Ghana, people about all that, Mazalo na me found one body the age this ticket issue. Then no yet over ticket or then I come. Then from when was a task force this year mefa. Now from the na from Meru. Task force na guy before na number state. You understand? I'm a guy and I check the number of ticket for the day. Every day is a profile not fees. Are you getting me now? Now from kept up and with one point I ban a good day. And I good whoever and I never ticket again. And the mess of rubbish. Everything on the money. So now I'm fucking with then I thought now what was a better more when he was the National Union Mandela or something.
The governor has already given us indications of what he's going to do. Okay. Going to digitize the collecting system.
Digitize it.
Yes.
Okay, he said that.
Yes, it's going to be something that we know where the money is going. We know who is collecting.
Okay.
It's not going to be this thuggery and this approach that is so uncivilized.
Okay.
The governor is starting on the right footing, but the challenge here will be for him to be consistent, for him to, because it's been the same tradition all along. The governor comes in, he gives you the impression he's going to chase everybody away and everything is going to come back to normalcy and we're going to have a decent society. 3 months, 4 months into the government, and you begin to see those people coming back gradually. And before you know it, by the time the government is there for a year, it's like nothing ever happened. And their punishment could come in different ways. People don't have to be punished by slapping and pushing, and there's so many, uncultured things. There could be other ways of, if you ask a particular bus vehicle to be off the road for 3 months without touching him, I think that's going to pay, hurt him more than slapping him and pushing him into the car.
Mr. Ben, a movie maker residing in Anambra State, have a lot to say about what should be done and the pedigree of the new governor to transform economy.
I think the governor, it is still early to begin to talk of his performance. So we're just looking forward to him. He has been there. He has been in the system for more than 10 years. He has been in government. He has also been in positions of authority, both locally and internationally. And most especially, he has been a part of ABGA, the ruling party.
Okay.
So he knows the politics of rulership. He knows how things are done. And of course, I'm sure from the sideline, there are some things he didn't like that he couldn't influence. They are being stopped.
Looking at the achievements of past administrations,
That he couldn't influence, they are being stopped.
looking at the achievements of past administrations in Anambra State, governors could enhance the livelihood of people residing in Anambra State. Governors could enhance the livelihood of people residing in Anambra State. Thus,
This is the issue. Number one, if somebody gave me
There's an advantage that Soludo has. His advantage is that he is coming in from the experience of being an economist. He has also been a central bank governor. So he has been a governor. It's not easy to run 36 states as a central bank governor. Dealing with the governors, the federal government, and everything has to do with finance. He has vast experience on that. We've had instances where people came in from business, but they came in entirely from business. 2, 3, 4 months, not up to 6 months of being involved in politics, they became governor. And that became some challenges for them, even though some of them were able to perform to the best of their ability. And then the governor that just left, we know he was literally brought back home to contest. He was never a politician. Soludo is not a magician.
Yes.
When we talk of administration, the government in power and everybody that is working for the government, down from the security man at the gate, they are responsible for this government. And then the man who is being governed, we, the masses, we have a responsibility.
on the issue of debts and money left in the coffers of Anambra State, the common Anambrian has this.
By the time we see what he has been able to do, that's the mathematics that posterity will have to tell. But for the governor who is here now, I think what he needs to do is to forget about the past and forge ahead. As a new governor, he's going to get allocation from this first month. what is he going to do with that allocation?
As Anambra State embarks on this journey with Professor Soludo as the new governor of the state, expectations are high, but chances of actualization is also wide. From Onisha, Martin Ifeanyuchukwu Ekeze reporting.
So there you have it. And just the way the governor, Professor Chukwuma Soludo, is marking 1 year in office, this report now is also 1 year as well. Now, let me tell you about the achievements so far. Soludo showcases achievements as he turns 62. Anambra State Governor Chukwuma Soludo has showcased his achievements, having spent 4 months in office as he turned. Okay, this is not really for us. So this is it now. Anambra Speaker describes Governor Soludo's achievement as legendary. Speaker of the Anambra State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Uche Okafor, says Governor Chukwuma Soludo has made positive history by being the first governor in Nigeria to embark on massive employment of the citizenry in less than 1 year in office. Okafor noted that the governor has changed the wrong policy of offering employment to people towards the end of the governor's tenure by employing over 5,000 teachers and 300 health workers in his first year in office. The speaker would describe the governor as an experienced public servant and prudent manager of resources, expressed satisfaction with the manner he has contributed to apply the little state resources to useful ventures and services, which he said has resulted in enthroning good governance in the state. He maintained that under his watch, the State House of Assembly has resolved to continue to work harmoniously with Governor Soludo, having seen the manifestation of his development efforts in all sectors, especially in road infrastructure, health care system, environmental sanitation, etc., security of lives and property, among others. He called on politicians in the state, irrespective of their party affiliations, to give maximum support to Governor Soludo in his efforts to move the state to greater heights. He requested fervent prayers from religious bodies. Anyway, I would like to know what you think of all of the things that we're talking about right now. The issue about, the administration of Professor Chukwuma Soludo marking 1 year in office right now. What is the scorecard? We are marking it. What do you think? And then Anambra, how do we increase the internally generated revenue? Because this is like the major thing he's talking about right now, that, okay, we need to increase that. So the numbers you call and then you become part of this conversation, 08096661035. And I will continue to tell you about what even Miyetti Allah is talking about, his achievements so far. Miyetti Allah have observed, the achievement of Governor Soludo so far. So to become part of the conversation, 08096661035. That's the number you call and then you become part of the conversation. But this is what Miyetti Allah is saying about Governor Soludo. And he said, Miyetti Allah lauds Soludo's 6 months achievements so far. Okay, they described him as a man with clear and resolute ambition to move Anambra State forward. Sidiki, who gave the commendation in an interview with journalists in Oka, pointed out that within this short period, the governor has successfully battled insecurity advance the frontiers of peace in the state, declare a state of emergency on Anambra roads, youth empowerment programs and other humanitarian services to the people. So far, how would you score the Soludo administration 1 year in office? 08096661035, and then you become part of the conversation. Now, if you remember exactly what the former president of Nigeria is talking about when he scored him, he said that, okay, within just this short period of time that he has achieved a lot. And he said he's not surprised about it, that he will even recommend that Governor Soludo is he won't even recommend for him to be on the local scene, that he will want him to get on the national or international scene. That's where, he thinks he will use the best of his talents. And then he said something like, okay, maybe he should just use Anambra as appetizer first, to demonstrate his strength, what he can do. And then we are looking forward to all of that. So once again, 08096661035, that's the number you call, and then you become part of this conversation. You can as well send SMS or WhatsApp message on the same number, and then we'll talk about it. Now, looking at the issue of internally generated revenue, Anambra's IGR still disappointingly low, Soludo laments. Governor Chukwuma Soludo of Anambra State is unhappy with the level of revenue generation in the state, lamenting that the state's internally generated revenue, IGR, is still disappointingly low. The governor, who spoke during the inauguration of Anambra State Board of Internal Revenue in Awka, described IGR as the lifeblood of all government operations, arguing that if it does not work, then nothing works. According to him, the result of the state's IGR since his assumption of office were not even close to 50% of what he anticipated to achieve, adding that he expected to have the revenue body double its initial revenue within its first 4 months, which he added did not happen. He said the state government should be making more than 3 billion naira per month, which has yet to happen. The 2023 budget is expected to generate 4 billion naira per month, but the Anambra state government is running a deficit on IGR, which is one of the key projections. FAAC allocations are unpredictable, but we have an economy with an estimate value of up to 5 trillion naira. It is critical to highlight the enormous potentials that exist, as well as the appropriate benchmarks and targets. If we have a 5 trillion naira estimate and collect 1%, 60 billion naira per year. If we collect 2, that is 120 billion naira per year. So one of the questions I'm asking today is, what can Anambra State do to, increase our internally generated revenue without, getting to the spot where everybody will begin to complain about, okay, increase in this, increase in that, and the rest of them. Just the way we saw, in a couple of months back when we began to see the issue of Keke and the rest of them. But what is your take? In one way or the other, you and I, we are affected by the policies and the things that we are discussing right here. Anambra State, even if you're not within, right now, you are also even if you are around us, you know, just maybe because we get very vast as well. In one way or the other, you are in Nigeria as well. So the truth is, you and I, in one way or the other, we are affected by what I'm talking about here right now. So what is your take on the matter? Like, what would you score, you know, this administration of Professor Chukwuma Soludo so far? Now, Governor Soludo said that the state government will be interfacing and evaluating the performance of the board every 3 months, warning that if this board fails, we will disband it and create a new one. The terms of reference of the board, which has Mr. Richard Mbadiebo as its chairman, include providing general policy guidelines regarding the functions of the state internal revenue service and supervising implementation of such policies, ensuring effective and optimum collection of all revenue, including levies and penalties due to the state government under the relevant federal and state laws. Yes, it is just our one-time opportunity to get to talk about this as people who are involved in one way or the other. But whether we do or not, his administration will continue. But in one way or the other, we're supposed to also shape the way he's going about things by the time we talk about it on this platform. You know, but I will also use this one wonderful opportunity to remind you of what is going on today. But let's hear from this person first before I give you some of the information on what is going on in that particular administration. Hello? 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 Please call back. 08096661035. That's the number you call and then you become part of this conversation. Yeah, even if the network is messing with us, just keep the calls coming through. Yes, we know where we are, and then we need to discuss about what concerns us in one way or the other. When we get to influence most of these things, you know, we perfect some of these things that is even affecting us right now. So it is very important that we participate and then talk about it. What is your take 1 year in office? What is your score? How would you score his performance so far? Yes, and put in mind the issue of insecurity. What he was confronted with immediately he came into office when it comes to insecurity, and he is still dealing with it in one way or the other. And so far, a lot of people, you know, are scoring him high when it comes to that. So, what is your own score? 08096661035. Yes, today, Governor Charles Chukwuma Soludo, CFR, commenced, he launched the drainage distilling campaign at Ochanja Market, Onitsha. And then tomorrow, that is supposed to be Saturday, April 1st, all the local governments, communities, and markets are expected to replicate the exercise in their various domains. Homestays and individual families should follow suit by cleaning their compounds and gutters. Anambra must be clean and green, a livable and pleasurable state. This is coming from Commissioner for Information, Sir Paul Mosu. So we should all, pay attention and do the needful tomorrow and clean our environment. Pay attention and do the needful tomorrow and clean our environment. And you can now see, that in one way or the other, the government is very active, a lot is going on. So it is left for us as a people to participate as well. And this program right here, right now, is an opportunity for us to participate and then say a thing or two on what we want to, what we want the government to do, areas where maybe the government is not even looking at what we want to, what we want the government to do, areas where maybe the government is not even looking at a time, but you can point it out right here, right now, and then government will also pay attention to it. 08096661035, and then you become part of the conversation. It is very important. This is not a personal thing, it's not about I like him or I like him, or I like him go see people and I like him and the rest of them. It is very important that we talk about it, because we might just be looking at it right now, but very soon, in one way or the other, you begin to say 08096661035. Get on board. Let's talk about it. Yes, irrespective of your network on there, man, I'm going to then more. But just keep the calls coming in one way or the other. We'll get to talk about it. Or you can as well send SMS or WhatsApp message on 08096661035. So what is your take on all of this? How can Anambra State, begin to generate more money at a time when we begin to talk about digital aspects, and how can we even get involved in that area? And then if you listen to what the report I gave you earlier, you see that some of the persons were talking about Anambra digitizing even tax, root taxation and the rest of them. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Yes, your name and location, please. Okay, please, go on.
First of all, I will thank the government for all their First of all, so-called blood-sucking people. I want to commend him on his body has been doing. So that will tell him clearly to cut down on tax.
Okay, on tax itself.
No, yeah.
Okay.
So every country to be more. It's good to do this. Yeah, it is a more.
Okay.
It's not a dynamic thing. But as far as I'm concerned, the situation, the economy, we are in right now, it is not viable for a people to pay off our house. For 12,000 of 5,000 of football. That's not the work of the tax. If they put the policy, people say that for each country, belong with money like that.
Okay. Okay.
Then, from the number of the bank of the so if you go very possible, you say to you are working and those students create to the public space. So there's no way there's only growth. Manpower in everything.
Okay.
That's what I do. That is all we have. Then 5 months of time. This is every month. Like everything, because it is almost every day. So there is another thing you can do much.
Can you move around a bit? Let's see if the network will get better. I'm just picking a few things from what you're saying, but yet, yes, let's see if we to get better.
Okay.
Mm.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, okay, continue. Let's see.
All right.
Mm.
For example, the example to bring the water. Whenever everybody will have water, and people get paid for that, people pay for that. It's the thing that comes from us.
Okay.
People pay. And for you to do. And what is that? Build good roads, build infrastructure, give us electricity, and you get paid for all those things. The economy is safe. So how is that because looking at the tax issue? That is because
Okay. Okay. I've gotten a thing or two from what you are saying, but yet network is disturbing you. But thank you so much for joining us still. I've gotten a thing or two from what you're saying, and I will explain to the audience what you've talked about so far. Thank you so much for joining us. Yeah, thank you. Yes. He was talking about the government looking into the pipe-borne water area, and he talked about a lot of things. The way government must develop Anambra State. He even talked about he making sure that he drops tax. He talks about that. But at the end of the day, we need to also find means, to increase the internally generated revenue as well. So the areas of digitization, the areas of digital aspect, even for me, entertainment, tourism, all these areas, little investment in some of these areas will begin to generate a lot of things the way I'm looking at it. But anyway, what is still your take on the matter? 08096661035. I am not the only person in Anambra, and my good friend that called from London is not also the only person in Anambra. So 08096661035, and you tell us what you think of this particular administration. What are your expectations still? And so far, what is your score? How would you score this particular government 1 year in office? And now in the area of youth empowerment, a lot of people, even Miyetti Allah, is saying that, okay, Governor Soludo is doing so well in this particular area now. If you look at the issue of one youth, two skills, all of those things, people are attesting to the fact that, yes, he's doing something. So what is your take? What can you see? Based on his pace of developing Anambra State right now, how do you see Anambra in the next 2-3 years? Yes, network is messing with us, but just keep the calls coming. Let's, defeat this network and have this conversation. 08096661035, and then you become part of this conversation. Again, 08096661035. at the same time, every board is supposed to perform within 3, 4, 5 months. You know, they should perform, and once they perform, you know, they will continue. But if they don't, the board will be disbanded and another board will be formed. That's the way. So anybody not at the board, I've got a serious business. Your money in target. That's the approach, you know, and I applaud that. It's very good. You know, we can report to an office once in a week or twice in a week. But with this kind of, you know, policy of the governor, Professor Soludo, what do you see? You know, so far now this particular administration of Professor Soludo, Anambra State, 08096661035, and then we'll have this conversation. Yes, network is messing with us, but just keep it coming. Already SMS now, but I go to any reason where when it was it call network I got allow some of these calls to come in, or just keep pushing it. You have to go Okay, this SMS is coming in from Ogochukwu Ifechukwu, and she says the achievement so far in just 1 year is not easy. Please let us encourage him and pray and support him to do more. To be the governor of a state is not easy. Ogochukwu Ifechukwu, thank you so much for joining us this evening. And Jeku is joining us this evening from Aguleri, and he says Soludo's achievement is a welcome development in our state, but let him put more effort in Aburo in our road. It's too much in our state. Thanks. Thank you so much for joining us this evening, Jeku. Yes, let's see how it's going. So I'm going to the calls, and we can send the SMS, more you send their WhatsApp message. Yes, network in line so good that we can't even come on Facebook as well. But just you can join us through these means, WhatsApp and SMS, or you put through voice call. Let's see if the network will allow us to have this conversation. So once again, 08096661035. Anyway, I'm not saying that again everybody 6 months to or 5 months to perform in any office, Onyaji and the rest of them. But I'm only saying that now, I want this sense of, you know, trying to achieve success, sharp. You ought to go trying to get the things I need. Take care now, thinking deep about the success we want to achieve for our state, not just, you know, playing around it or some more click protocols that will prevent us. But when we think outside the box and then create more, you ought to go. And this kind of thing will make someone to create the more. You know, so Soludo said that the state government will be interfacing and evaluating performance of the board every 3 months, warning that if this board fails, we will disband it and create a new one. So Lieutenant Weki disbanded this board in providing general policy guideline regarding the functions of the state internal revenue service and supervising implementation of such policies. And for me, like, creative enough, mellow, EG Force or EG Aburu and the rest of them, but is generated. But there are so many ways, you know, as a state, we can go about, you know, generating more money. You have to go, and that's the thing, and that's like developing most of the sectors. So the goal only had dead. Now this state, you know, for example, the entertainment sector is very important. You know, on the other side, and then agriculture. You know, and then yes, agriculture is even one of the things that President Obasanjo, former president of Nigeria, you know, pointed out for Soludo. You know, the areas he pointed out. He said he gave him agriculture as one of the areas that he must pay attention to. Hello? Hello?
Yes, hello.
Yeah, good evening. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, good evening.
Reverend Martin.
Brother, Kekime.
Hello, good evening.
Evening. How can I be sabai?
Yes, this is the voice of Lord Samuel,
Okay.
evangelist,
Okay.
calling from Abaga. Yes, well, I want to begin by saying that we did not make mistakes by electing our Honorable His Excellency, the Professor Soludo, as a governor.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't a party affair. It was absolutely elected by the people.
Okay.
And he becomes the people's governor.
Mm.
Because it was elected by the people's choice.
Yeah.
We met.
Yeah.
Without his personality that flag of Abga primary, flag bearer, during that governorship, Abga could have been nowhere anymore in Anambra State.
Mm.
But because of him as a person, we voted for him as a person, because of the trust we have, and we believe he will perform, and he's performing. The only problem I have with him now is multiple tax.
Okay.
See, the poor people selling pure water on the street of Oka will be paying 100 naira on ticket. How much are they getting from, the pure water? It is a merciful situation.
Okay.
All Agboros are beating people up and down, and harassing people, creating nuisance. And I believe he's not aware of all this.
Okay.
So now that we are talking about it, please let him do something drastically to protect his image and integrity.
Okay.
So far, he has done well, and I encourage him to do more.
Okay.
And may God bless him.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Yes, it is what it is. It is Street Reports on Ebona, the 103.5 FM. It is a place where we get to speak objectively, about matters that concerns us. And then in one way or the other, we are shaping our future. We are shaping it the way it must go. So what is your take, on all of this? 08096661035. That's the number you call, and then you become part of this conversation. Remember exactly what we're talking about. We're talking about 1 year in office. Governor Chukuma Soludo. Some of these days, like people say, are finding it difficult to call him that name. Like people say, are finding it difficult to call him that name again. Remember, like when he came in, anybody that wants to address him, before you know it, Chaliwan is coming out. But today, anyway, the thing is, it's all good. Anambra State. Even people outside Anambra State are recognizing the fact that he's doing a lot of jobs already. He's doing a lot of things. He's achieving a lot already. So what is your take? And we're beginning to get to the spot where I will begin to call it a day, but we still have a few minutes, to talk about this. 08096661035. What is your take? If a group like Miyetti recognize the importance, what Governor Soludo is doing in Anambra, why not people who are from this state, indigenous people as well, to recognize, to know exactly, okay, this thing that he's doing is very important that he do these things. So what is your take on how far, so far, how would you score the Soludo administration? 08096661035. Yes, network is messing with us, but just keep it coming. You can as well send SMS, on the number, or WhatsApp message on that same number, and then we'll have this conversation. foremost, I would like to appreciate everyone that spoke today. Like the people who even came in through the SMS or call are like people who have insight, who can speak, properly, who can, give us insight in what we're talking about, and they spoke very well. They went into details of what we need. This will show you that a lot of people self are thinking deeply about Anambra State as a state. But some people, they will always tell us there are three kinds of people in this world: people who make things happen, people who watch things happen, and then people who don't even know what happened, and then the people who got through. I'm not saying that I know that a lot of people were trying to get through as well, all of these people are people who make things happen. And this person that is just saying, greetings, sir. Thank you so much too for joining us this evening through our WhatsApp portal. Though you didn't even say your name, but it's all good still. So the people who make things happen, they've made it happen today, and they've talked about this particular issue, the issue, about a 1 year in office of the governor, Professor Chukwuma Soludo. We've delved into that and talked about, the critical issue concerning this particular thing. Some of the people pointed out the issue of Aburu. That's like the place where there is a challenge, where we must fix, where he must look into and make sure that these people are off our streets completely. And then when he was coming in, we heard things about digitizing, these road taxation or even levies and the rest of them. If you listen from the top when I started this program, you'll hear from some of the, like you hear from the report I gave you, where somebody was talking about the fact that, okay, some of these levies will now become digitized, and then one of the reasons why we, like most Anambra people, looked towards this particular administration is the issue of digital aspect. Right now, ICT is generating a lot for Anambra, like for Nigeria as a country. So Anambra should find a way also to tap into information communication technology, and where is the best place to talk about it? Here, Ebona at the 103.5 FM. This is like the best place to talk about it. And with that said, this is how I will call it a day on this particular edition of Street Report on Ebona at the 103.5 FM. Remember, it comes your way every Friday, and this is where we get to do the issue, play the roles of the media, the issue of ombudsmanship, playing that particular role, and then causing social change in areas where we need to cause them. And today we've delved into this, talking about the administration of Governor Chukwuma Soludo. I know maybe a lot of people would want to even say some things that are bad, but at the same time, you can't really, because if you look at the man is doing a lot of work, and people are attesting to that. So that's just the thing. So we can only just appreciate him for the work so far, and then encourage him to go further and actualize more for Anambra State. And that's the reason why, our people give him that mandate, because we know that he will perform. That said, this is how I will call it a day on this particular edition of Straight Report. Until we see you again. Oh, more kind of one metal. Martin Chuku, as a number the first, Just don't touch the dial of Ebona at the 103.5 FM. A lot more is coming your way. News, scopeness, and a whole lot of other things is coming your way. So stick around. Yahweh, joy.
I should take a second to salute because I know my day. Just don't ask. Don't be so good to be so bad. Yeah, from my dreams, I wear my crown. Get out of my knees and I pray to die. Person where no one could tell me how you want shot me. No.
Heavenly sound from the street, that's how we roll. Give me your kitty, so to my wood bell. My wood, any cotton. Give me your kitty, so to my wood bell. My wood, any cotton. Nzanza, nzanza, nzanzo, nzanza. Hey, nzanza, nzanzo, nzanza, nzanzo, nzanza. Hey, nzanza, nzanzo, nzanza, nzanza. Nzanza, nzanza, nzanza.
How many me I want to go? Somebody got the me. Come here and see them. I said the car and the two got it go. Anybody want my phone? Let me let my gun pull it back on. Now I did two big things I be lying.
I get something to cannot do.
Inside them no teaching. Anything we do wish me.
Yeah, I wish you back. Focus on grind. Person where no one to tell me how we want to. Tell me I don't know. Heavenly sound from the streets, that's how we roll. Give me your kitty, so to my wood bell. My wood, any concord. Give me your kitty, so to my wood bell. My wood, any concord. Nzanzo, nzanza, nzanzo, nzanza. Nzanza, nzanzo, nzanza.